Welcome. This is the video on how to play Stone Age. Specifically, this one is how to set up the game. So, I'm Dr. Kevin Hadley, and this is the Board Game Professor. So, you unbox it, you put the board out, make sure it's nice and centered for the video, okay. And then you have all the different spaces for the resources, so you empty out the bags and those put those resources. So the wood goes into the forest, the stone goes into the quarry, the brick goes into the pit, and the gold goes into the river. Oh, that's not gold, that's people. Okay. Then you have the food area, the hunting grounds. I don't like to put all the food in there, but I like to put a little bit. Maybe 5. Definitely a lot of singles and 2s, because that's where I'm going to make my change. Okay. All right, and then for each player, they get a player mat. Okay, so yeah, it's a nice picture on the back and some information on the front. But for each player, they get the mat. They get 5 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also put their small cube on the agricultural track and their score counter on the point track at 0. Okay. The other thing, every player starts with 12 food. I like to do a 2 and 2 5s. That's usually kind of the easiest for me. So, and I'm going to set this up as a 3-person game. Okay. And then we'll put the 3rd player down here. Okay. So again, 5 players and 12 food. And put the small cube on the agricultural track, and then their large cube on the scoring track. Okay. So as I set this up, the other thing that needs to be done is, you pull out the dice shaker with all of the dice. We also need to allocate the bigwig. Okay, so that's the starting player. Now, I believe there is a rule for who should start and who shouldn't start. For my family, we just roll to see who goes first. There might be some other rule in the rule book that dictates who goes first, but I like that to be random. So, okay, so every player has their food, every player has their players, every player has their scoring cubes, and every player has their their agricultural thing. Okay. The next thing you need to set up are the houses. Okay. So the houses are the tiles. And they look like these. Okay. For each player, you have 7 houses in a pile, or 7 huts, I guess. Okay. Now, I like to play a short game. So the full game says use 7 in each pile. I like to play a shorter game. I think it makes it more interesting, but also cuts the time drastically. So we actually use 5 in each pile, and that also changes how many what's going to be available, because they'll make it a little bit random. But we'll set this up as a normal game. So you take all of the tiles, shuffle them up a little bit. Okay, so we'll shuffle them up a little bit. Okay, so I don't know what's going where. I'm also going to make them all face down so I don't know what's going into what pile. And again, this is a 3-person game, so we're going to use 3 piles. On a 4-person game, you use 4 piles. On a 2-person game, you use 2 piles. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'll make some piles equal of height. Okay. And I like to have them face down so that you don't know kind of what's in what pile, you don't know what's coming next, that sort of thing. So I like to keep these face down when I'm setting up. And then put a 7th one on top. Okay. And then these ones will go back into the supply. Okay. So that's one. So that's that, and then we have to set up the cards. So here's the cards. There's 36 of them. Again, if we play a short game, when I play a short game, I pull out 10 of these. Now, why do I pull out 10? Well, because that's proportional to how many houses I take out. So 5 divided by 7 multiplied by 36, that's how many cards. So we shuffle those, and then we put 1 in each space. Okay? And this dictates the starting pile. And I like to put the draw pile over here. Okay. Now, we're pretty much done setting up. Now all we need to do is the tools. I don't put out all the tools because I rarely use all the tools. So I just kind of grab a handful and kind of put them in there. I'll keep like 1, 3, or 4 out. But, you know, according to the rules, you're supposed to have them all out. But, you know, I just kind of put whatever out and then take out as many as I need moving on. Now, again, as the first player, you know, is the bigwig, the guy in the big chair. We'll dictate yellow to be the starting bigwig. And now you're ready to start the game, to start playing Stone Age. So the next video will go on to worker allocation.